Well, here in problem number 6, we're given a piecewise function f, and in part A, we're asked to determine if this function is continuous when x equals 0. And if you remember, there's 3 conditions that have to be met for a function to be continuous at a point. Condition number 1 is that the limit must exist. Condition number 2, f of 0, in this case, they're asking us if we're continuous at x equals 0, f of 0 must exist. And the third case, f of 0 in this case must equal the limit as x approaches 0 of f of x. So let's go to work. 1 minus 2 times the sine of x is defined as x approaches 0 from the left. 1 minus 2 times the sine of x is a continuous function. So the limit will exist at x equals 0. Let's find what it is. That's going to be 1 minus 2 times the sine of 0, which is going to be 1. Now, e to the negative 4x is a continuous function. And that'll tell us the limit as x approaches 0 from the right. E to the negative 4x evaluated at x equals 0 is 1. So it looks like the limit of f of x as x approaches 0 does exist. F of 0 is going to be 1 because when x equals 0, 1 minus 2 times the sine of 0 is 1. So condition 2 is met. And condition 3 is met because the limit equals the function value. So yes, f of x is continuous at x equals 0. Now let's go to part B. Part B. In part B, they ask us to express f prime of x as a piecewise defined function, and then find f prime of x when x is negative 3. So let's see here. F prime of x is going to be the derivative of 1 minus 2 sine of x is going to be minus 2 cosine of x. And the derivative of e to the negative 4x is going to be e to the negative 4x times 4. Since this is a piecewise function, our function is not defined at either endpoint, so we're going to have values for when x is less than 0 and for x is greater than 0. This function will not be defined when x equals 0. Now, we're supposed to go and find f prime of x when x equals, or when f prime of x equals negative 3, I'm sorry. All right, well, let's see here. We're looking for a y value. I think there's 2 ways we can go about this. One way is to go like this. Say negative 3 equals negative 2 times the cosine of x, and see when negative 3 equals equals e to the negative 4x times negative 4. And I forgot the negative sign in here. You know what? Let's just pull that constant out in front. There we go. Now, let's go to work. See what we can do. Divide both sides by negative 2. 3 halves equals the cosine of x. Well, let's see. It doesn't make a lot of sense because we know that the cosine of x always goes between 1 and negative 1. 3 halves is 1.5. That's too big. So we're going to say this situation isn't going to happen. Let's see what happens over here. Let's pull this constant out in front. Remember, that's a negative 4. I was missing a negative sign earlier. So if we divide both sides by negative 4, negative 3 over negative 4 becomes 3/4. Goes e to the negative 4x. Well, get x by itself, take the natural log of each side. Natural log of 3/4 equals negative 4x. And this will occur then divide by negative 4. So we'll get negative 1/4 times the natural log of 3/4 equals x. This is when f prime of x will equal negative 3. And last but not least, part C, says find the average value of f on the interval from negative 1 to 1. Okay, let's get to work. Let's see. If we integrate from negative 1 to 1, and multiply by 1 over 1 minus negative 1, f of x dx will be in business. Now, because this is a piecewise defined function, we're going to have to do 1/2 times, and we're going to have to split this up. Let's integrate from negative 1 to 0. About 1 minus 2 times sine of x dx. And then let's add to that the integral from 0 to 1 of e to the negative 4x dx. And find the average value this way. Okay. So now if we integrate, let's see what happens. We're going to get 1/2 times x minus 2 times the negative opposite, so minus the negative is plus 2 times the cosine of x. And this is all going to be evaluated from x equals negative 1 to x equals 0. And then we're going to add, see, the integral of e to the negative 4x is e to the negative 4x times negative 1/4. Divided by negative 4. Same thing. Evaluate it from x equals 0 to x equals 1. All right. We've got some scratch work to do. How are we doing on time here? Now we got some time. 1/2. Zero plus 2 times the cosine of 0. Cosine of 0 is 1. We're going to call that 2 minus negative 1 plus 2 times the cosine of negative 1. Okay, whatever that is. And then plus, let's see, negative 1/4 e to the negative 4 times 1, negative 4. Then minus negative 1/4 e to the negative 4 times 0, which is going to be 0. Everything with 0 is 1. All right. Let's see if we can clean this up a little bit. Let's see, minus a negative 1 is going to be 2 plus 1. So call that 3. Then minus 2 times the cosine of negative 1. And let's see, over here, we're going to go minus 1 over 4 times e to the 4th power, getting rid of the negative exponents, plus 1/4, plus 1/4. Okay. Let's see how we're doing on time. We have a little bit of time. We can clean this up and keep simplifying if we'd like, but if I go too much longer, we won't be able to fit this in any format to be seen on any computer. So I'm going to pause the video for a minute, throw the answer down and play it, so you can see the final simplified answer. Here you go. The steps that were worked out while the video was paused are in black ink. The simplified answer is selected. That's the average value of our function from negative 1 to 1. Thank you for watching the video.